attendance. Hello and welcome to Inside Access, your ticket behind the scenes of Coon Rapids sports. Studio and Howie, it feels great to be back behind the desk.
I can't think of too many things better in life. How about you?
I can think of one, because it's an all-out sprint to the finish.
Okay. Kind of like your life.
They host Elk River on Tuesday, and Howie?
We'll be there. There you go. It's contagious.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, of course it is.
Sportsnight, I'm Joe Young.
I'm Joe Young as well. And I'm not so sure how good we'll look on HD, but you know.
I appreciate the effort.
I try.
I do.
So let's get ready to celebrate all that is Cardinal Athletics. We will bring you all the action at the pool and take you outdoors to the course. So show us those best dance moves and get into the halftime celebrations just like I do. No one make a sound. Sports Night is next.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Sports Night. I'm Joe Young.
And I'm Howie Shapiro. Do we have fun or what?
We do.
We do have a lot of fun.
It is quite obvious. You don't have to watch much to realize we do enjoy what we do, and we will enjoy bringing you this week's show. A lot of stuff to talk about.
Jam-packed.
Even though we missed out on a Friday night of activities due to the weather.
Yeah, I was looking forward to getting a chance to cover the boys basketball team again, but obviously the weather had different thoughts for that game, and of course all games, as everything was canceled that evening.
Still, we got our cameras out and about, got a lot of Cardinal action to talk about, and we will start with the boys hockey team. They got a much-needed win this past week, breaking a 9-game losing streak on Tuesday. Red Wing came in with 5 wins on the season, but all their wins were over teams that are decidedly weaker than what the Cardinals face that night after night. Cardinals jumped on them early and finished strong to celebrate on home ice. Cardinals creating chaos midway through the first. Dominic Espinoza takes it hard to the net. Kamani Poor finds the loose puck, puts it home. Sophomore second of the season gets the Cardinals on the board. They add to it just 90 seconds later. Puck paid back to the point. Jordan Blakowiak's one-timer finds the back of the net. Cardinals have a 2-goal lead going to the second period. Hawks have the only tally in the middle frame, though. Isaac French finds room on the left side, snipes it past the glove of Connor Wise to make it 2-1. And into the third, the Cardinals were not going to let this one get away. Speed on the rush. Derek Avery centers on the backhand. Jake Van Holzen redirects it to the webbing. Cards have some breathing room again, and again, they seize the momentum. Good pressure down low. Andrew Racine centers for the one-timer by Ethan Hansen. Hansen's first career varsity goal makes it 4-1 midway through the third. And they weren't done. On the power play, Derek Avery from the low angle finds a hole in the keeper to net the first of his career. He had a goal and an assist, and the Cardinals hold for a 5-2 win. And much needed, of course. We were at the basketball game.
We were.
Girls basketball game against Anoka, but great to see the boys get a victory.
You talk about a team that needed a win, and that boys hockey team certainly did, because you know they're playing tough night in and night out and not being rewarded for it, and for them to get that win over Red Wing, that was good for the program.
Yeah, and unfortunately they got to get back to the Northwest Suburban Conference grind on Thursday. They traveled to take on Champlain Park, and they get handled.
They did.
By the Rebels. 4-0. All 4 goals coming in the first period. A couple of weird ones. Connor Wise, after that, was outstanding. Made 59 saves in the game. Cardinals outshot 63 to 15. But it was kind of a heartbreaker. The third goal, Connor came out, tried to clear, and ended up getting taken down by the guy charging in and threw it into a wide open net. Real easy for a netminder to lose focus after a mistake like that,
Yep.
but he didn't. Really refocused. He was phenomenal the second and third periods, but the Champlain Park, even with 63 shots, they did some things. They were really being patient and really trying to set up the pretty goal rather than really trying to pile it on.
Yeah, and again, losing 4-0, and with the amount of shots that we're taking, obviously could have been worse than that.
Oh, much worse.
And so you talk about Connor kind of regrouping and doing a nice job of getting back into the flow of it, even though he's been, he's facing those kind of shots and just giving up the 4 goals.
Yeah, and the offense needs to help out, put a couple more on the board. A chance on Tuesday with a couple of home games this week, Tuesday, Thursday. Southwest Christian coming in on Tuesday. Their team that's just below 500.
Yep.
They have played a lot of the same teams the Cardinals have with a little bit better results. But we'll talk a lot more about it on Tuesday because Howie
will be there.
And then they host Anoka on Thursday, and Howie
will be there as well.
And the Tornadoes, another team near the bottom of the conference. That's an opportunity for them to get a conference win. But the Cardinals have to come in with confidence that they're able to play with these teams, take a little bit more pressure off of their defensive end, get a little more time in the offensive end, put some pressure on the other goalie.
Yeah, and you said the key word there was confidence, and they do have to have that. And I think the fact that if they can come into this week, maybe score some a goal or two, and get a little bit of that confidence, they do have an opportunity.
Well, hopefully we can bring them some luck.
Let's hope so. Well, there's only a couple of weeks left in the girls' hockey regular season, and the Bluebirds have been flying high. Coming into play last week, they had won 3 in a row, 4 of their last 5, and 7 of their last 9. Their only opponent last week, though, was the 5th-ranked Maple Grove Crimson, a team with 16 wins on the season. Crimson start quickly, puck play in deep. Tristana Tater finds Sam Nordstrom trailing. She gets it off the far post, in and in. Maple Grove on the board just 34 seconds into the game. Well, the Bluebirds, they're going to battle well into the first, so same score into the second. Another quick one for the Crimson. Jenna Trim this time scoring on the wrist shot, also just 34 seconds into the period. Crimson controlling the pace in the second period. On the power play, good opportunity is shut down by Elia Johnson. She stopped 29 against Maple Grove. Well, the pressure's finally going to pay off late in the period. Lauren Stesley weaving through the slot, shoots back against the grain. Her goal made it 3-0 going into the third. Maple Grove, well, they're buzzing again in the final frame. Shot from the point is deflected, but Johnson stays with it for the save and the cover. Bluebirds had 10 shots in the first and just 8 for the rest of the game. Crimson gets one more in the third. Stesley speeds past the defense, then rocks the top shelf. Maple Grove cruises to the 4-0 win.
Yeah, it's a pretty good hockey team.
They're good.
And for the girls hockey program, they're fighting with these teams, and they're having good results.
They are.
They know that going in against the Maple Groves, the Andovers, that's a couple of the top 10 teams in the state that they play right in their own backyard. It really will prepare them to face whatever anyone has to offer in the section tournament.
I know they would have loved to have gotten at least a tally or two in that game, but again, the fact that they played them strong, one of the better teams in the state, that bodes well as the season winds down, because once you get into the section plays, that's when you want to play your best, obviously.
Yeah, the Bluebirds definitely looking to finish strong. They're at Armstrong Cooper on Tuesday, and then they're at Centennial on Saturday. The wrestling team was very busy last week, starting with a Northwest Suburban Tri-Meet that became a quad meet on Thursday night. Cardinals were scheduled to go to Champlin Park to face the Rebels of Maple Grove, but Minnetonka was also there, so they went to the mat 3 times. The 2 matches in the conference are crucial, where the Cardinals are trying to remain undefeated. A lot of action on the floor at Champlin Park on Thursday night, and the Cardinals start going head-to-head against their hosts. The Rebels start with a pin and a major to take a 10-0 lead, but the Cards dominate after that. Andriy Dimov gets the Cards their first win at 120, gets the pin. Champlin only got 1 win the rest of the way. Enoch Bidimba with a great cradle on Amira Hayes at 126, gets him rolled over and eventually gets a slap on the mat. Cards take the lead 12-10, and they never look back. Fast forward to 145, Alex Kowalczyk a little high on this hold, but he makes it work. He gets the Cardinals another pin late in the second period. The returning state entrants still trying to get back into the rankings. Jaden Van Vickel battling into the third period at 170. Then he gets chest-to-chest with Champlin Cyrus Dugba. His pin clinches the win for the Cardinals with 4 matches to go. But they weren't done scoring. Eric Ramos with a beautiful fireman's carry right off the opening whistle. He gets a pin at 195 in just 26 seconds. And done. Top-ranked Gavin Layton doesn't finish his man quite that quickly. It takes him a whole 31 seconds to put Bubba flat to the mat. Cardinals with a dominant 51-13 win over Champlin to start the quad.
Yeah, they've been wrestling really well, and especially that young man right there has yet to lose a match, I believe. I don't think he has lost a match. He's rated #1 in the state for heavyweight, and he's been wrestling well.
Yeah, we don't want to jinx him, but
No.
It's quite a run, and it definitely deserves being noted. It continued with another pin against Minnetonka, and this one a little bit closer. Cardinals knew going in this was probably going to be their best matchup of the evening. The Cardinals gutted out a couple of pins back-to-back from Riley Hargrave and Gavin Layton to clinch the victory late in the match, and then they faced Maple Grove. Maple Grove is down a little bit on the numbers. They had several forfeits in there. Cardinals still managed 4 pins from Madimba, Soto, Zach Thomas, and surprise, surprise, Gavin Layton. On Saturday, the wrestling team was in Eastview for the Eastview Invite. This was supposed to be a 12-team tournament, but went down to 8 because so many teams couldn't make it due to the weather we experienced on Friday night. Gavin Layton, again, surprise, surprise. He never made it out of the first period. 3 pins to take the championship at 285. Second place finishes for Kowalczyk, Thomas, and Ramos. Third place finish for Seals, Linville, and Jaden Van Vickel finished 4th place in their respective categories. So a lot of guys able to finish in that top 6, aided by the fact that some teams couldn't make it. But 4 guys making it to the championship round, regardless of who is or who is not there, is pretty impressive. They're
wrestling well, as we talked about. 18 wins, team wins on the season. That's a pretty good season going in, and they've got a couple coming up where they've got an opportunity to get a couple more victories here this week and next.
Well, they certainly hope so. They want to stay undefeated in Northwest Suburban Conference action. They host Centennial on Friday before going to Blaine for a duels tournament on Saturday.
Well, the gymnastics team had 3 conference matches last week, starting with a double duel at Champlin Park on Monday. The Cardinals and the Centennial Cougars were both there to battle the Rebels and each other at the same time. The Cardinals still looking to get the scores back up where they know they can be. The double duel format means 1 score but 2 different places. Aaliyah Vu scores an 8.65 on the vault. That's 3rd place against Centennial, but 4th against Champlin Park, right behind Cassie Rushmeyer. Bars is the Cardinals' weakest event, but Vu has a strong showing on Monday night. Great speed, solid dismount, scores an 8.1. That's 2nd against both. She was 3rd against both in the all-around. While floor is where the Cardinals typically shine brightest, Cassie Rushmeyer is one of the reasons why. This routine gets her an 8.6. That's 4th against Champlin Park and 5th against Centennial. Rachel Dieters has led this team on the floor for the past few seasons. She's doing it again. Great tumbling run here. Helps her to a 2nd place finish with an 8.9. Also finished with a solid 31.45 in the all-around. We finish on the beam. Kalia Jones puts the best score of the night for Coon Rapids. 8.2 is 2nd against Centennial, 4th against Champlin Park. The Cardinals are going to score team points of 126.075, getting closer to that goal, but lose to Centennial 131 and Champlin's 134.
Yeah, and they hit that 130 right before, back in December.
They did.
And have not been able to get back to their couple of matches in now into the new year, have not been able to get that number back up. They certainly hope that it will continue to climb. It did drop a little bit on Thursday when they took on Osseo, but they get a victory with the 123.275 over Osseo's 110 flat. Cassie Rushmeyer, 1st place on the vault. Aaliyah Vu, 1st place on the bars. Rushmeyer again, top spot on the beam. Dieters was 1st place on the floor with an 8.925. Aaliyah Vu was 2nd in the all-around. And upcoming for them, they host Anoka on Thursday, and then they are at Rogers on next Thursday. The swimming and diving team had their best finish. The swimming and diving team had their best finish in more than 10 years at True Team sections on Saturday. But first, they traveled to face Park Center Pirates on Thursday. Pirates are one of the smaller teams in the conference, so the Cardinals approached the meet a little differently. They held their top guys out of most events to give some others a chance to win. And a lot of guys stepped up and took advantage of their time to shine. Cardinals set the pace in every event, and they had a lot of first and second and even 1, 2, 3 finishes. We start with the 200 freestyle. 8th grader Mitch Tronson gets the center lane. He shows he belongs there. He wins the race in 2 minutes, 13.27 seconds. Captain Devin Saby took second for the Cardinals. Up next is the 200 IM, and this is why the Cardinals held their top guys to one individual event. Matt Struess is more than 30 seconds faster than the fastest Pirate. His brother Kevin Struess finished second for the Cardinals. Junior diver Jack Zimmer has been a consistent leader for the Cardinals, and he has a monster night against the Pirates. That front 2.5, part of a career best 236.35. We move to the 100 butterfly. A lot of empty lanes for Park Center, but the Cards get a great performance from freshman Abba Mayana. He touches up in 59.54 seconds, another podium sweep for Coon Rapids. And they put it out of reach with the next event, 100 freestyle. Junior Jordan Aho in the middle gets a great start, and at the end, he's all alone. Cardinals clinch the win with 5 events left. They cruise to the easy 88-74 win.
A nice win for them. Obviously, nice to get a relatively easy win for the program. And, you know, Park Center really towards the bottom of the conference. But you should beat a team like that the way that they did. And I know Coach Donaldson's happy with that.
Yeah, and it speaks volumes about the depth of this team. We talk over and over about the importance of the depth. And that kind of shows when they're able to take out their top guys and still handily beat another team. It shows they've got a lot of those guys in the middle that, you know, if those guys continue to improve, all of a sudden those team scores are going to jump and other teams are going to get concerned.
Yeah, and that's what they're looking for. I mean, you get an opportunity for a lot of the guys to swim that typically may not swim as many events to now get an opportunity to be in the forefront. They did a good job of that.
Yeah, and as I mentioned on Saturday, the Cardinals in the true team event finish in 4th place, closer to 3rd than they were to 5th. They feel pretty good about that finish. It means the program is moving in the right direction. The lone first place finish goes to Nick Melsha in the 500 free. Tyler Schultz had 2nd place finishes in both the 200 IM and the 100 breaststroke. Matt Struess was 3rd in the 100 fly and 4th in the 100 back. Melsha was 4th place in the 200 free. Jack Zimmer was 4th place off the board, and the 200, really all the medley teams did really well. 200 medley relay was 3rd place. Both the 400 free and the 200 free relays also placed very well in that meet. Just only so many results you can put on one screen.
Right. Well, and the guys have been improving as the season goes along, and obviously that's a testament to this squad.
Yeah, the Cardinals go head-to-head with the Andover Huskies on Tuesday at Northdale Middle School pool, and then they will be in Cambridge Isani for the Blue Jackets Invitational on Saturday.
Yes. Well, last week's snow, that was a welcome gift to the Nordic ski teams throughout the metro. We got a couple inches early in the week. That meant conditions were almost perfect for races on Wednesday. The Cardinals, they took to the trails at Elm Creek along with 5 other conference teams for a 5K freestyle. It was the last warm-up before this week's Northwest Suburban Pursuits. Cardinal boys have come on very strong, especially their top guys. Several will have a chance to make some noise at the section championships. Chief among them is probably sophomore Josh Thone. He had a nice 6th place finish in a time of 13:31. Senior Noah Christensen isn't far off that pace. He coasted at the end in 7th place in a time of 13.40. Freshman Aaron Casey and senior Jared Haida were the next 2 Cardinals on the leaderboard. Casey was at 14th place. Heidi gets across the line in 15th. The Cardinals are 2nd place out of 6 teams. Well, the girls team doesn't have nearly the depth, but they definitely have a leader. Senior Abby Ellenbecker is shooting for her 4th straight trip to the state. She was 4th place overall at the 5K skate last Wednesday, finishing in a time of 15:24. The rest of the team is young, but showing solid strides in improvement. Sophomore Lila Gilliard has the next best time for the Cardinals. She gets to the top 20, taking 19th in a time of 17:07. Junior Josie Ingleton also has a strong showing at Elm Creek. She puts up a time of 17:48. That puts her in 30th place. As a team, the Cardinals take 5th place overall.
Yeah, and the tone of the messaging on Coach Denny Green's blog is very positive about the results that he saw last week, how well he thinks the team is moving forward, both boys and girls. The boys team, again, a little more veteran, a little older, have a few more pieces that can push those team scores up. But, obviously Abby is the one. If you were going to pick one to watch, it would be Abby Ellenbecker. She's been outstanding throughout her career and really trying to do something special here in her senior year.
Yeah, and hopefully she does, because she's certainly earned it. She's skied well over the last number of years and looking to finish strong.
The Northwest Suburban Conference pursuits are this week. They have the Freestyle Tuesday at Woodland Trails, and then the Classic is on Thursday over at Elm Creek. Alpine ski team took part in the third race of the season last week. Both boys and girls teams finished in 7th place. For the boys, Reed Smith leading the way with a 22nd place finish. Gian Del Frat is 25th. Nico Tweedy 26th. Jacob Sides 32nd. And Ryan Wild finished in 81st place. For the girls, Emma Bolin falls just outside of the top 10, finishing in 11th with a time of 1 minute 2.94 seconds. Shelby Robidoux was 28th, Hafferman was 54th, Sides in 58th, and Scheck in 59th place. Upcoming for them, they have race 4 on Thursday this week at Wild Mountain, and race 5 is next week back at Trollhagen. Both basketball teams shortened to 1 game last week. On Tuesday against Anoka, and the Cardinals boys got a big victory. It's another team that needed a win. They got it against the Tornadoes, 67-57. Jackson Aurelius led the team with 18 points, 6 boards, a double-double for MJ Galama, 16 points, 10 boards. 2 others in double digits, with Talon Elmy and Jordan Doe both getting over 10 points. And Jaden Palmer added 6 points, 5 boards. Cardinals now 4-7. They were due to host the Blaine Bengals on Friday night, and we were very excited to be there. But
Mother Nature
then the
had
snow came.
Other thoughts.
And the snow came, and that game was postponed. I have not seen a makeup date yet for the boys.
The 29th.
Oh, you did? Okay. The girls are doing it on the
same.
29th.
They're both doing it. 29th.
So next week's going to be very busy. I believe they play Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Both teams will. This week they host Centennial on Tuesday. They're at Andover on Friday.
Yeah, good action coming up.
Excuse me. Okay, I'm much better now.
Good.
The Lady Cardinals also only had 1 game last week, hosting the Anoka Tornadoes on Tuesday. Anoka wasn't far ahead of the Cardinals in the standings, but the Tornadoes were starting to find some rhythm and had won 3 of their previous 5 games. Still, this was an opponent the Cardinals had an opportunity to get a win. Anoka's hot outside shooting helped them build a lead early. They hit 3 straight three-pointers by 3 different players and had the 13-6 advantage. The Cardinals have some shooters of their own. Kylie Hetwer came off the bench and hit back-to-back threes for the home team, and it was a 1-point game midway through the first half. Tornadoes, though, go back to what works. They had 7 three-pointers before the break. Maddie Stengel had the last 2 baskets in the half, both from beyond the arc, and the lead was 32-21 at the break. Cardinals chipping away in the second. Jenny and Tomway had an outstanding game. Great drive to the basket early on. Still, Anoka lead grew as large as 16. And Tomway again, this time in the post. She equals her season best with a team-high 17 points against Anoka. Hetwer stayed hot for the Cardinals as well. Pretty little shooting, running hook shot right there. Gave her 14 on the night. Anoka had just 3 baskets in the second half, all by Olivia Anderson. But they sealed the deal with 13 points from the free throw line in that second half and held on for a 52-45 win. The defense stepped up in the second half, really made it, they were so far behind they had to foul early. They did end up in some foul trouble, so not all of that's by design. But really, I mean, if you think about it, only 3 baskets from the floor by Anoka in that second half. defense played much better.
Yeah, and Nicole Post got into foul trouble early. I think she only had a couple of points on the evening, and you have to be impressed with the way that Jenny and Tomboy kind of stepped up. She had her 17 points, did a nice job underneath, kind of picking up some of that slack. And then Hetwer coming off the bench. You know, we've seen it before. When she gets hot from beyond the arc, she can hit the basket. And 14 points for her was another nice outing. But unfortunately, they just could not get over the hump and get the win.
Yeah, the big problem was the struggles on defense on the perimeter in that first half. Allowed that Anoka lead to grow so large and early in the second half. But so many points from the free throw line, and unfortunately, part of that was necessary as they came down to it, trying to make it last and continue to chip away. And they got back within 7, but come up short. And as we talked about, not able to tip off against the Blaine Bengals on Friday night.
No, and you know, and it's just some of the small, I don't even want to say small things, but some of the intangibles like turning the ball over way too many.
Again,
way
it
too
got
many
better
turnovers.
in the second half.
It did get better in the second half, but you know, you turn the ball over like that, and it kind of gets contagious, unfortunately. But you're right, they were able to tighten it up a little bit in the second half and able to cut into that lead, but again, just couldn't get all the way there.
And again, an incredibly young team. You were without Sid Kerr. Grace Henneman, your only senior, was sidelined for that one. You know, although if you look at just the record for a lot of the programs, and I know we say it a lot, but this team especially, they're so young and there is talent there, but they're going to have to persevere, you know, take their lumps. I think the boys hockey team is similar. They have a little bit more senior leadership than does the girls basketball team, but kind of in a similar position as they look towards the latter part of their season.
Well, we talked about Sid Kerr that typically, I think she averaged about 10 points a game, and Hetwer, we talked about in the beginning of that, she's only averaging about 3, but able to pick up the slack and pick up some of that scoring that Kerr may have provided had she been in the game.
So the Cardinals at Centennial on Tuesday. They will host Andover on Friday. We got a couple of hockey games coming up for you here on CTN this week. Boys hockey hosting Southwest Christian on Tuesday and Anoka on Thursday. Both will be live at 7 o'clock. And on Friday, we will be at the barn as the wrestling team takes on Centennial.
I believe it's youth night. Oh, no, it's senior night for wrestling on Friday, I believe.
But that is going to do it for this edition of CTN Sports Night. We want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young saying good night. In attendance. Hello and welcome to Inside Access, your ticket behind the scenes of Coon Rapids sports. Studio and Howie, it feels great to be back behind the desk.
I can't think of too many things better in life. How about you?
I can think of one. Because it's an all-out sprint to the finish.
Okay. Kind of like your life.
They host Elk River on Tuesday, and Howie?
We'll be there. Hey, there you go. It's contagious.
It's all your fault.
Yeah, of course it is.
Sportsnight, I'm Joe Young.
I'm Joe Young as well. I'm not so sure how good we'll look on HD, but you know.
I appreciate the effort.
I try.
I do.